Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ronkley here, and we're looking at Descent Underground. This is a new game from Descendent Studios. It's currently in alpha, as you can see here. Actually, it's pre-alpha, and this is Proving Grounds. Right now, Proving Grounds has 3 different levels, 2 different game types. Very limited, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about the first pass at Proving Grounds. This just got released last Thursday, I believe. So you get in here and you have to sign in using your username and password. Now, in order to even get access to Descent Underground, you either have to pledge for the pre-alpha access or you become a subscriber to the Underground. That's at descendentstudios.com. As you can see, we have some settings here. You can save the authorization, show optional environments, some additional stuff. You can even repair and re-download the game if you have problems with it. I'm just going to go ahead real quickly and log in, and since I have Google two-factor authentication, I need to include a code. Let me find that real quick. There we go. Let me just see it will log me in. And there you go. So this is Descent Underground. There's 3 options. You can start, go to options, and then exit. We're going to go to options real quick. I'm going to go over the basic things that are available. Sound settings are currently disabled. You can see they're grayed out here, so you cannot change your sound settings yet. That is going to be happening soon. Here you can change your resolution, change your screen mode. This doesn't really work until you restart the game. So you'll want to do that. Vertical sync if you want to lock it to 60 frames a second or whatever your monitor supports. And then your quality preset. You also have advanced options where you can change your filtering level, anti-aliasing, all kinds of different things in here. You'd want to use these if you're having trouble with certain parts of the game and you want to basically tone down the amount of stuff that you see. As an example, Descent 3 used to have fog, and you could it was very often disabled because that was just a element of the game that had gotten away. So, the next part I want to go over is controls. You have 3 different types of controls. You got your movement, which is your 6 degrees of freedom. You have your actions, which basically are all your extra keys, and then you have your access configuration. Now, I have a whole bunch of things plugged in, but I'm going to be using the mouse here. I'm starting on access configuration first because there's something really weird here. Your mouse X starts as inverted. Now I'm using 0.5 power, 0.25 sensitivity. You can see when I mouse over these parts of the screen, it will kind of demo what it feels like. There's also a dead zone, so if you don't want to, if you move your mouse a small bit, and you don't want it to register, you can have that happen. Well, I don't, so I set it to 0. So just very quickly going over the movement. So I'm actually going to go ahead and not invert this access and not reverse the access. You have to hit apply to. It's another thing here, you see there's a whole bunch of apply and save buttons here. I'm sure that's going to change eventually. Don't hit these X's. To make these go away and make them unavailable. Same here. If you hit this X, this goes away, and if I were to now save and try to come back to the screen, the turn would be gone. I would not be able to bind that. You'd have to delete your input.ini file under your user settings in order to get it back. I'll put an explanation to that in the comments on the video. So when you do want to change the axis, you just click on it and you'll see press a button or move an axis. In order to move the axis, you have to put it over this axis display name here. I'm sure they'll make this a little more clear in future builds, and it will pick up mouse X, and it gives you a moment in case you change your mind. Like let's say I X, whoops, that's mouse Y. No, I want mouse X. So you have enough time to change it. We're not going to reverse it, obviously. The Y axis. We're not on the y-axis yet, so that would be pitch. So that's turn. Turn is left, right. Bank, I use the keyboard for those. Q would be to bank left, which is reverse, and E is bank right. Acceleration reverse, I use A, and for whatever reason, I've always used both S and B as backwards in Descent. Obviously, your mileage will vary. You can do whatever you want. Slide vertical. Here, reverse is down, and slide lateral reverse is left. So basically, up and right are your primary controls. To reverse them, you check the reverse box. Pitch, of course, is the y-axis. I do invert that to be like standard Descent. So once you're done, you're going to want to hit save, and you'll see this nice little mouse. I have no idea what this mouse is for, but it's there, and you can't even get rid of it by switching controls. So if you want to go back and rechange something here, you have to back out and go into options. Little quirk with the game. I'm sure that'll get fixed in a future build, so don't really worry too much about that. You also notice that if I back out, go back in again. Remember, the sound is grayed out here, but if you go to controls, all three of these are available, but when you click on one, it looks like it grays out the other two. They're not really grayed out. You can still select them. You can see when you highlight them. And then click on them that they work, whereas the sound settings just don't work. So just a couple quirks with the options menu. We're going to go ahead and get into the game here. When you hit start, you get to your drone bay, and there's a bunch of different drones to choose from. There's 4 right now. This is the Wasp. This is the basic drone that's like a pyro replacement. This is the Typhoon. A little bug up here, display bug, which can't decide when it wants to display the scroll bars, whatever. Doesn't really matter. So this is the, you can see over here the ship stats, lots of attack, not too many tools, so on and so forth. This is the Panzer. This is the tank. It's literally German for tank. And you can see it's got a lot of defense here. And then you have the Predator, which is classified. So I don't know if this is actually a game yet, but whatever. A lot of these things don't work. You'll see on the left side a whole bunch of things. It's like whatever. I guess this is where you will eventually choose how your ship looks, but you can't do that right now. Also, this will show your currency. I imagine that's script, and this is PALs, and then it shows your name over here. I have no idea what this comms is yet. It doesn't even work. This just brings you to the options menu here, and it's a little different here. So I just use mouse settings. I don't know what any of these are supposed to be. They're obviously not ready yet. There's an updates button, doesn't do anything, and you can't change graphics settings here either. So this is the drone bay. There's eventually going to be a shop, a tech tree, and a career. None of those work yet, so we're just sticking in the drone bay. Likewise, at the top here, you have solo, create game, and find game. Only solo works. So we're going to select a drone, hope that there's people playing, and hit quick match. Matching with other pilots. So this queue right now is very basic. It just throws you into a random game if there is one. Just a quick word about the available items in the game. There are only 2 types of primaries in the game. There's lasers. The lasers can be upgraded to quad lasers, and there's 4 different levels of lasers, just like the original Descent 1. And there's also a Vulcan cannon. Compared to Descent 1, you will run out of energy with the lasers faster, but you will not use ammo quite as quickly on the Vulcan cannon. I'm not sure how the balance is going to work out with those eventually, but that's what you should expect as a Descent player. As far as the secondary layout goes, there's 3 secondaries currently available, which is the standard concussion missiles, the homing missiles, and of course the big old mega missile. The concussion and homing missiles, they do not really show up on your screen other than tracers. And you'll also notice that the homing missiles homing ability is quite poor right now. I don't know, again, if they're going to tune that or what's going on, but again, this is an alpha. Things are totally subject to change right now, which is very cool. Aside from that, the mega missile is this big old missile that you'll see, and when it launches, it'll create a sound, like a warning, seek shelter sound. And of course, if you don't, you die. It's got pretty good turn ability, but it's not quite like D1. You can definitely blow yourself up with it. Now, There are a couple other things as well. There are tools and gadgets. You can consider tools as a new element, or maybe even if you're a D3 player, you can liken those to, say, like the energy converter. There's a separate button for those. That's what the tools are. Right now, there's only the mining laser available, and it does nothing. So don't worry about that for now. What you do want to worry about is the gadgets. The gadgets are similar to countermeasures, such as the proxy bombs, the smart mines from D1, D2, bouncing betties from D3, the chaffs, all kinds of different things that you had in D3. There's only one currently active, and it is the laser grid. This drops a grid of lasers behind you that deflects weapon fire, incoming weapon fire, and also causes enemies to take 100 damage going through it. Now keep in mind the maximum shields is 200, so that is at worst half their life. If they're under 100 shields, you get a kill. So it's pretty interesting how it works. It's a little aggressive, I think. I'm hoping they tone it down because it really kills any type of tunnel routing. Alright, you can see we got a match found. So we're just waiting for it to show up. And this is in the capture the core level, but it's an anarchy level. You can see here we're playing against a guy named Smack. So tunnels are pretty tight in this particular level. Some concussion missiles, or Vulcan ammo rather.
Shield restored.
Get the shields restored. You can see this one starts with a pretty good amount of shields.
Concussion missile.
Concussion missiles, this little smiley is the mega missile.
Quad lasers.
Quad lasers, which is really good. Now we just wait for our hapless victim to show up.
Missile.
There he is. There's a mega missile. You can see he just got wrecked.
Concussion laser upgrade.
So mega missile is just as crazy as Descent 1. So we'll show the laser grid off next. There's no rear view, by the way. You can't even select it, even though there's a button for it. Just doesn't work. So, through here.
Shield restored. Energy upgrade.
Energy upgraded.
Vulcan ammo.
Here's the Vulcan.
Laser upgrade.
I don't think I've gotten the Vulcan yet, actually. I've got quad 3s right now as our laser layout here. Oh, he just went through here. So we just gotta find him now. Oh, where'd he go? I have to guess, I don't know where he went. Okay, oh, he might have gone this way.
Energy upgrade.
You can see there's a lot of these dead-endy rooms in here. This is not a typical Anarchy map. Like I said, this is designed for capture the core. Here's the Vulcan.
Vulcan cannon.
I consider the Vulcan to be the superior weapon of choice right now. Get another mega missile.
Mega missile.
There's currently doesn't seem to be any penalty for running into walls like in D1. Oops. Way there. There's only one main room, the rest of it's pretty much tunnels. This is kind of like a side room here. It's got a couple different areas, including, again, another capture the core specific room. Trying to get back out to the main room here. I'm still not 100% familiar with this map. Did he just pass me? I thought I saw him. But nope. Still looking for our opponent. That's a fairly big level, pretty big for 1v1. It's difficult to chase people down. You can see, remember I have this in ultimate settings. I have a, oh, there he is. Let's see what we can do. There he is. He's firing at me. Not doing very well. Let me select the homing missile. Demonstrate those. You can see they don't really home all that great. With that Vulcan, you can see, you can tell when you're lighting up the ship. Because there's a lot of lighting up, so I should finish him off pretty quickly here. We're going to try to lay down a grid here. Let's see, we laid down a grid. And he went right through it. Blew him up. Now, you can also go through the grid yourself, and that's painful.
Laser restored.
So, That's how the laser grid works there.
Shield restored.
The voices are kind of cheesy, but yeah, they work. I mean, you can tell what's what. I think that's kind of helpful because the power-ups are not like classic Descent. They don't look like the classic Descent power-ups, so it's quite different. You got these little side tunnels. I think this is a very 3D map. Kind of cool. It takes a little getting used to. Once you get used to it, pretty easy. Uh-oh. Now, I'm going to switch to the Mega Missile because I don't know who's sitting over here in the corner. And I just got him with the Mega.
Shield restored.
Yeah, you could see he was camping in that main room waiting for me to show up. I'm trying to tunnel around pretty good. Oh, there he is. Got him again. I'm going to switch to lasers here. You can kind of see the lasers are a little difficult to deal with on high level, just simply because how bright they are. It really obstructs your vision a bit more than the typical lasers do. They're also kind of slow, but they did say that they're going to speed them up. Let's try it. Those concussion missiles. These green trails are him firing concussion missiles at me. I have 13 of my own, so I can fire back at him. Oop, and I blew him up. I had him pretty hard with the lasers there. You can see the shields are giving me 25 shields each, which is kind of OP. That's like trainee mode in Descent 2.
Mega Missile. Concussion Missile.
There he is again. Let's see what he can do. Oh, I think he found something. You can see the ships are also kind of hard to hit right now. If you're familiar with Descent 3, you'll know about oh, I'm out of energy. That's not good. Let's switch over to Vulcan. If you're familiar with Descent 3, you'll know about restrictive weapon collisions. And those weapon collisions... Where'd he go? I lost him. There he is. The weapon collisions allow you to hit the ships. If restrictive weapon collisions are turned off, then their hitbox is a sphere around the ship. If it's turned on, then it's the actual geometry of the ship. In Descent Underground, it's the geometry of the ship, and as you can see, this guy is extremely flat, very hard to hit with much aiming. So, he's got to be out of energy. Stop firing at me. He's running away, he's running away. I got him.
Energy shield restored.
Okay, so I got a little energy back. Another thing you noticed in that last dogfight that he had a very hard time firing at me because his lasers were not. Or you can see the lasers were just sitting there in midair. They weren't firing after.
Energy upgrade.
Once he fired them, they were just stuck there. They weren't moving.
Homing missile.
So that's one of the issues with the game, certainly, right now. What's this? I feel like I'm being fired at. I am. And I got him with the Mega. Probably the explosion killed him.
Energy shield restored.
You can tell the Mega's got that really silly bloop sound. So you see in the upper left, really quickly,
Shield restored.
you see how much time's left in the map. Upper right, you have this concept called a score. I am not entirely sure what that is, but I have 5,000 points. But you can see how many kills you have as well. If you hit tab, you can also see your kills and deaths and your opponent's score as well. What's that? Oh, there you go. There. Mega. He makes. He's in the main room, and I don't see it power up. So that's something you gotta be careful of. Oh, there it is. He ran. Okay, here he is. Lost him. Oh, I think he picked up the Mega. And you can see he just wrecked me with that Mega. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to the Typhoon. So you can switch ships. Oh, and he must have killed himself, too. You can see I got 3 lasers instead of 2 now, which is kind of helpful. But I'm also super weak. I'm already at 12 shields, and I'm hit me pretty hard there. We'll respawn with that again. You start with lower shields with this guy. It's 120 instead of 160. But you can still have the opportunity to get back to 100 or 200 rather, by picking up enough power-ups. And there are a lot of shield and energy power-ups on this map. More than a typical Descent game. Wow, look at all this stuff. Oh! So I hit him with a Mega Missile, and I was too close, and died. So that was pretty awesome. There he is! So what he's doing wrong right here is he's not using
laser concussion missile. Shield restored.
He is not at all using his laser grids. So I have laser 4s right now. It's not quad variety, but oh, he just got right up in my face and wrecked me there. Whew. That was pretty good. We'll switch to Panzer real well. Oh, we got 5 seconds left, so it doesn't matter what I switch to. So he got a few good kills at the end there. I was 9 and 4, but he was 3 and 10. That accounts for the one suicide that I had. So at the end of the game, you go back, and that's the name of the level, by the way, Apophis. At the end of the game, you go back to your drone bay. You'd repair if you needed to, but I mean, you can't really do that right now. One of the other things I wanted to show real quick was what happens when you try to bind something that's already bound. So I'm wanting to switch my gadget and tool buttons. And it says this key is already bound to another action access. Are you sure you want to add this binding? The existing binding will not be overridden. So if you hit no, nothing happens. But if you hit yes, like that, you can see my W's in both places. So all I want to do here is change my W and B because I want to use those. Let's say the B is bound to something else. I think it's bound to something that's not used often. So that's pretty much Descent Underground in a nutshell right now. Capture the Core is usually played with about 4 people. I haven't seen that come up too often. There's also a second map called Valor, which is actually a port of the Descent 1 map by the same name, created by Dracona. And it's pretty well textured. If you remember the Valor map in V1, it's very blue. This one is very metallic and really cool looking. They did a nice job with it, I think. So definitely, if you have the opportunity to check out this game, if you want to throw some money at the Underground, you'll get access to this right away. It's a very cool game. Very awesome that these guys are reviving the Descent franchise. There has been a good number of 6 Degree of Freedom games coming out. Descent Underground is just one of them, but it's got the name of the original. And so far, this is looking pretty promising. They have a good system here, a good foundation, and the fact that they're giving this very clearly unfinished game out to a bunch of people to basically kick the tires, see how it's going to be. I think that's really cool. We're going to get a lot of good feedback. That's just going to make the game all that much better. So definitely check out Descent Underground. I'll be posting more videos, doing more streams as the game progresses, as they add more things. And hopefully I'll see you there in the mines, and we can duke it out, have a lot of fun. Until then, see you, bye.